In this video, pan-roasted chicken thighs with a beautiful crispy skin guaranteed every time, plus a juicy interior texture, and as an added bonus, the sautéed green beans all done in the same pan for a delicious chickeny goodness and a fast and easy dinner. So here we have some standard chicken thighs, and what I'm doing here is I'm just pulling the skin out from underneath it, so all the skin is on the top side of the thigh, which is going to allow us to cook them more evenly. And I'm going to season the skin with kosher salt, and just salt at this point. No pepper, no garlic powder, nothing fancy, because I don't want the skin to burn during the pan roasting process. Next, we're going to heat an appropriate size skillet over high heat, and here we're using a large skillet because we have lots of chicken thighs to pan roast. Add in our favorite cooking oil, and then once it gets hot, we're going to lay the thighs in the pan skin side down, and notice how I'm rotating it away from me so that way when it drops, I don't get oil splashing up back on my hand, which is going to ruin my night. Place the thighs in the pan, and then now you can season the meat side with your pepper, with your salt, and any other goodies that you want. Now, for those of you playing along at home, yes, my pan is overcrowded, but no, it's not going to ruin it. We're going to make it work. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of juggling the thighs around, switching hot spots for cold spots. And what you're looking for is a medium golden brown on the skin. Now, once you achieve that medium golden brown, you're going to drop this into a 425-degree oven. And pause. During this entire cooking process, you will not flip this chicken. That is why you get such a beautiful, crispy, crunchy skin, even though I know you're paranoid that's going to burn in the oven because it's already a pretty nice golden brown. Now, the reason why it doesn't burn is air is bad at conducting heat. So this hot metal pan that's in contact with the skin of the chicken goes into this oven. The heat from the metal pan diffuses outward into the hot air of the oven. And then once it equilibrates or evens out, then the hot air maintains a consistent, steady temperature on this metal pan, which leads to a crispy, evenly brown skin. Now, if you have a convection fan, use it, and then set your timer anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, depending upon your oven. You're going to have to kind of dial it in yourself. Now, here I have some Chinese long beans, and this could be any green vegetable, but I love the Chinese long beans or yard beans. And I'm just going to trim off the fibrous ends here, but this could easily be some broccoli, some green beans, bok choy, and I'm cutting down these Chinese long beans to, about 4 inches long, and I'm going to blanch these in some boiling salted water. And what this is going to do is it's going to partially cook the green beans to give me the interior texture that I want so I can later stir fry them and focus on the exterior texture. Blanching will also greatly improve the color and visual appeal of the green vegetable. Notice how the green beans are a little bit dull in color until I drop them into the boiling water, and then the color brightens and intensifies. This is because all green vegetables contain air trapped in the cellular structure at its surface that act as light diffusers, making the color more dull. So when you drop the vegetables into boiling water, the cellular structure at the surface that traps the air collapses, the air escapes, it no longer diffuses the light, and voila, you have a brighter, darker green. Now, when the green beans hit the texture that you like, go ahead and drop them into some ice water to shock them or stop the cooking process. And what you're looking for is a crunchy yet tender texture, or really however you like to eat your green beans. Now here I'm just going to drain these onto a paper towel and set aside. And in the meantime, I'm going to start prepping the items I want to stir fry my green beans with. So here I have a yellow onion that I'm just topping and tailing and then cutting into a julienne. And notice I'm cutting it a little bit thicker. I'm not going super thin because I want that crunchy oniony texture. Then here I have a finger of ginger that I'm just peeling down, cutting into coins. I'm going to give it a nice little whack. And then once I whack it and smash it down, use a simple mincing motion to mince up the ginger. And we're going to give our garlic cloves the same treatment as our ginger. Just give them a couple quick whacks, set down the knife, peel off the outer skin, and then use a mincing motion to mince up the garlic. And you can use as much or as little garlic as you want. This is you cooking, so, use what you like. Flavor it how you like. Now, once your timer is done, you're going to pull the chicken out of the oven and just take a second to pause and look at how beautiful that looks. Now, notice how the meat side of the chicken thigh has little to no browning because it's only been exposed to the hot air of the oven. And this is going to work in our favor because we're going to have a succulent, juicy piece of meat in contrast with the crunch of our perfectly brown chicken skin, which we're going to reveal here in a second. But this also demonstrates why if you flip your chicken during the pan roasting process, you're not going to get a crispy, evenly brown skin, and you're going to be sad. So now when we go to flip these chickens over, Look at that beautiful crispy chicken skin. Now, a quick little tip is when I place these on a platter to serve, I like to give them a quick little dab to take off the excess fat, and it'll also help to keep the skin nice and crispy. Now we're going to pour off this excess fat that's in the pan here and set it aside. We'll use some of this in our green bean saute. Whack up some green onions if you have it, or really any nice green herb. Cooper, get away from there. And sprinkle it on the chicken just for a garnish. It's going to add some visual appeal and contrast. And I'm going to take this platter and just sit it on the back of my stove. And that's going to be plenty of heat to keep these chicken thighs warm while I finish the green beans. And again, this could be any vegetable you want. But green beans are one of my favorites. So I'm just going to drop those directly into the hot pan. And they're going to release some moisture. You might have a little bit of a flame shoot up. Don't worry. It's not a big deal. Have a lid sitting next to you if you need to kind of cover the pan with it. Here I'm adding in a little bit more of that fat just because the pan seems a tiny bit dry and the fat has a ton of great chickeny flavor. And then I'm using the straight edge of my wooden spatula to scrape off that brown fond on the bottom of the pan, which is just yummy goodness. Now I'm going to toss in my julienne onions, continue to scrape. As the onions release moisture, that moisture is going to steam the fond in the bottom of the pan, allowing me to scrape it and release it. And at any point, if I'm concerned that the fond is sticking too much or the bottom of the pan is going to scorch, I'm going to add in a little splash of water or a splash of stock. Now I'm going to continue to saute, add a little bit of salt for seasoning, wait till I start to get a little bit of browning on the onions and green beans, and then add in my ginger. Now, when you first add the minced ginger to the pan, you're going to notice a sharp, gingery smell or aroma. As you continue to cook the ginger, it's going to soften and have a more fragrant aroma that doesn't seem as harsh. At that point, you're going to add in the garlic and repeat the process. Harsh garlic smell, saute until the garlic smells kind of sweet. At the very end, here I'm dropping in just some standard box chicken stock. You can easily use a little touch of water. And I'm deglazing the bottom of the pan and releasing that fond again to turn it into my glaze. Hit it with just a little bit of soy sauce, again for just some seasoning and some flavoring. Flip, 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 stir, 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 check for final seasoning, and there you go. Now you have a delicious stir-fried vegetable side that's infused with all that chickeny goodness that you normally just throw out and waste all that delicious fond flavor. Arrange on a platter, wipe the edges just to make it look extra sexy and professional, and then I like to garnish with a little bit of toasted sesame seeds right on top. Now let's say for a second you get caught up taking some super sexy B-roll footage with your brand new camera just like this, and you realize that, hey, although the B-roll and the pictures that I'm posting on Instagram turned out fantastic, maybe the food got just a little bit cold in the meantime, which is why I always like to leave my oven on until I'm ready to serve. That way, once you corral everybody and they're ready to eat, all you have to do is just flash the chicken and your vegetables directly in the oven on the plate. And we're talking 45, 60 seconds. Just reach your hand in there, give them a little bit of a touch. They should be hot to the touch. The core is already still warm. So once they are hot to the touch, you can then pull them out of the oven and serve. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, then just, don't say any mean things because chefs, we have fragile egos. Share it with your family and friends who enjoy crispy chicken thighs and delicious vegetables. And I will see you all in the comment section. Thanks for watching.